Welcome back to the deep dive. This time, we're looking ahead, way ahead.
Into the future.
Yeah, exploring the trends and predictions shaping, well, pretty much every industry out there.
Consider it your cheat sheet for what's next.
We're talking rapid technology, the rise of sustainability.
Consumers calling the shots like never before.
Oh, and even whole industries kind of blurring together.
It's a lot, right? But that's what we're here for, to break it all down, make sense of it.
So are you ready to peek into the future?
Absolutely. And just to be clear, this isn't like some theoretical stuff.
No.
We're talking real-world impacts, stuff that's already changing how we work, shop, live.
Right. So before we get too far ahead, maybe let's set the scene.
Okay.
Industries have been through a lot lately, right? Tech disruption, all those shifting consumer habits, and of course, regulations.
Yeah, you can't forget the regulation.
I mean, take AI, for example.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't long ago that AI was like pure science fiction, and now it's everywhere.
It really is. Think personalized shopping, those recommendations you get, supply chains getting optimized, even self-driving cars, it's all AI.
And our sources really highlight like AI, the Internet of Things, all that.
OT, right?
Yeah, IoT, and automation as like the big drivers of this whole tech-powered shift.
It's about efficiency, making things better, faster. Businesses want to streamline, cut costs, but also, deliver better products.
And it's not just about businesses, right? It's about creating those cool new experiences for consumers.
Right.
Like imagine walking into a store.
Yeah.
And it's like totally personalized just for you based on, your data.
And get this, the experts are predicting that'll be the norm in a few years, like standard across most industries.
Wow, yeah, that's a lot to take in.
It is.
But it's not just tech driving change, right? No, sustainability is huge now.
Huge. It's gone from like a nice to have to a must have.
Absolutely.
Consumers are demanding eco-friendly everything.
Yeah, like I see that everywhere.
Think electric cars, fashion using sustainable materials.
I've definitely noticed companies like really emphasizing their sustainability efforts.
Oh, yeah, they have to. Consumers are like voting with their wallets.
So it's not just a marketing thing anymore.
No, it's core to how businesses operate.
Experts even predict that by year, sustainability will be the baseline, like the expectation for any company.
If you don't meet it, you're out.
Wow.
Yeah.
And speaking of consumers, they're not just, sitting back and letting all this happen.
No way. They've got more power than ever thanks to, the digital age.
It's true. We have like instant information.
Oh.
We can compare prices, products, leave reviews, all that.
It's a total game changer.
Businesses can't just dictate anymore. They have to listen.
Exactly. Adapt to what consumers want.
And that's why we're seeing like the boom in e-commerce, all that personalized marketing.
And social media is a huge part of it too.
Yeah, brands really have to have their finger on the pulse.
If they don't, they're going to get left behind.
Okay, so we've got technology, we've got sustainability, we've got consumers in the driver's seat.
That's a lot.
But here's something I'm curious about. While globalization is still like a thing, we're also seeing this rise in regionalization.
Yeah, interesting, right?
How does that fit into the picture?
It might seem kind of contradictory.
Yeah.
But as we become more global, we're also seeing this pullback to the local.
So what's driving that?
Well, trade policies are changing.
Okay.
Geopolitical events and, the pandemic really exposed how fragile global supply chains can be.
Oh, yeah. Remember all those shortages?
Exactly. So companies started bringing manufacturing back home, reshoring.
So it's about like having more control.
Yeah, being more resilient, being able to adapt.
Makes sense.
And the shift could lead to more localized supply chains, which makes businesses, less reliant on those global networks.
So far we've covered tech advancements, sustainability, empowered consumers, and this whole globalization, regionalization dance.
It's a lot, but we're just getting started.
Okay, so where are we headed with all this? What does the future hold?
That's the big question. But by analyzing these trends, looking at what the experts are saying, we can start to get a glimpse of the next 5-10 years. And trust me, it's going to be wild.
Okay, I'm ready for it. What's the first big prediction?
Get ready for this. Emerging technologies are going to take center stage.
Okay.
We're talking quantum computing, blockchain, even more advanced AI than what we have now.
I've heard those terms, but I'll be honest, I don't really get what they mean for like the average person.
So imagine quantum computing leading to like breakthroughs in medicine,
Okay.
new materials, even better AI, stuff that normal computers just can't handle.
And blockchain.
That's all about data security,
Okay.
financial transactions, making everything safer, more transparent.
So blockchain is about security
Mm.
and quantum is about like processing power.
Yeah, solving problems in ways we can't even imagine right now.
Got it. What about the advanced AI?
Well, that's going to change how we work, how we interact with tech, even how we live our lives.
Okay, that's a lot to process.
It is.
Quantum computers, blockchain, even smarter AI.
Yeah, and that's just the beginning.
Wow. Okay, so we've got all that happening.
But the next big prediction, I think, is resilience.
Resilience.
Yeah, like, the last few years have been, well, a bit crazy.
That's one way to put it.
Pandemics, economic stuff, all these unexpected events.
Right.
Businesses are realizing they need to be, like, way more adaptable.
So it's not just about the tech, it's about being prepared for anything.
Exactly. Having those flexible supply chains, making
Mhm.
sure your operations are diverse and training your workforce to handle whatever comes next.
So like having a plan B, C, and D just in case.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The companies that can pivot quickly, adapt to new realities.
Those are the ones that are going to make it.
Ex-
Okay, one last prediction. What else is coming down the line?
This one's interesting. Industry lines are going to start to blur.
Blur. Like how?
We're already seeing it. Tech and healthcare are kind of merging.
Mm.
Media and entertainment are becoming one thing.
Oh, yeah.
And retail, well, that's a whole other story with online platforms and everything.
So what's driving all that and what does it mean for, businesses and people like us?
It's a few things. Technology is a big part of it,
Oh.
but also consumer demands are changing. And, some problems are so complex, you need different industries to work together.
So instead of everyone staying in their own lane, it's more like everyone's collaborating.
Yeah. Imagine tech companies working with healthcare providers to create like personalized medicine,
Mm.
or media companies and retailers teaming up for like immersive shopping experiences. It's pretty cool.
So we've got quantum computers, businesses that can bounce back from anything, and industries all blending together. It's a lot.
It is exciting though. The future's full of potential.
I can't argue with that, but with all these trends and predictions, there's got to be some challenges too, right? They can't all be sunshine and roses.
You're right. It's like two sides of a coin. You have the incredible opportunities,
Nah.
but you also have hurdles to overcome.
So let's start with the good stuff, the opportunities. What can businesses and regular people look forward to?
For businesses, think new revenue streams, better efficiency, using AI to really optimize everything, create totally new products.
That sounds pretty good for them. What about us? What about regular people?
For individuals, the big thing is upskilling, constantly learning.
So it's not just about what you know now, it's about always being ready to learn new things.
Exactly. The job market's going to keep changing, so you got to stay ahead of the curve.
What kind of skills should people be focusing on?
It's not just tech skills anymore, though those are still important.
Right.
Problem solving is huge, critical thinking. Being able to adapt to new situations.
So like the stuff machines can't do.
Yeah, those human skills, creativity, empathy, communication, that's what's going to set people apart.
Makes sense. It sounds like the future belongs to the lifelong learners, the people who embrace change.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we talked about the opportunities, but what about those hurdles, the challenges that come with all this?
One of the biggest is the cost of adopting these new technologies like quantum computing, advanced AI. They require a ton of investment.
So it's like only the big companies can really play in that space.
It can be tough for smaller businesses, yeah.
Are there other challenges we need to be thinking about?
Oh, absolutely. There are a lot of ethical considerations that come along with all these advancements.
Like what?
Data privacy is a big one. Algorithmic bias.
Correct.
The potential for jobs to be lost because of automation. It's complicated stuff.
So it's not just about, ooh, shiny new tech. We got to think about the consequences too.
Exactly. We need to have open conversations about these things, figure out how to make sure these technologies are used responsibly.
So it's like progress with a purpose,
Yeah.
not just progress for the sake of progress.
I like that. Progress with a purpose.
And that requires, everyone to work together, right? Businesses, policymakers, researchers, even just regular people.
It's a collective effort, for sure.
We all have a role to play in shaping the future.
We do. The future's not set in stone. It's shaped by the choices we make.
Powerful stuff.
It is.
But let's bring it back down to earth for a sec. With all these trends and predictions, what should our listeners, what should they be paying attention to right now?
Great question. It's easy to get overwhelmed with all the information out there,
Yeah.
but there are a few key areas that stand out, both for businesses and individuals.
Okay. I'm listening.
First up, data. Data is what drives all this tech.
Right.
Those who can use it effectively, collect it, analyze it, they're going to be in a good position.
So data literacy, that's becoming more important than ever.
Absolutely. It's not just for tech people anymore. Everyone needs to understand data.
And that leads us to the second key area, cybersecurity.
Oh, yeah, that's huge.
The more connected we are, the more vulnerable we are.
Exactly. Everyone needs to prioritize cybersecurity, businesses, and individuals.
It's not something you can ignore anymore.
Nope.
Okay. So we've got data literacy and cybersecurity. What's number 3?
Talent. Finding the right people with the right skills, it's going to be crucial.
So it's not just about individuals upskilling. It's about businesses finding ways to train and develop their workforce.
Exactly. Create a culture of learning.
So it's a two-way street.
Is.
Individuals got to stay ahead of the game, and businesses got to support that.
Absolutely.
Okay. And the fourth key area.
Sustainability, we talked about earlier, it's not an option anymore.
Right. It's not just about doing good. It's about good business.
Consumers want it. Investors want it. It's a key driver of success.
So sustainability is like baked into the DNA of successful businesses now.
It really is.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. Technology, sustainability, the evolving role of consumers. Phew. It's a lot to unpack. What does it all mean for our listeners? What should they take away from all this?
I think the most important thing to remember is that the future is not set in stone.
Okay.
It's shaped by the choices we make today.
So we have the power to influence how things unfold.
Exactly. We can create a future that works for everyone.
That's a good place to pause, I think. Let our listeners absorb everything.
Yeah,
We've covered a lot of ground today.
we have. Yeah, it's a lot to wrap your head around.
It really is. It's like we're living in a science fiction movie sometimes.
Right. But taking a step back, I think that's really important in a world that's moving this fast.
Absolutely. And even though we've been, diving into some pretty heavy stuff today, I don't want our listeners to walk away feeling overwhelmed.
No, not at all.
I hope they feel, empowered, informed, maybe even a little bit excited about what the future holds.
Excited. Yeah, there's so much potential. And remember, like we were saying, it's not some fixed thing. We're creating it.
So let's distill all this down. If our listeners could only remember a few things from this whole deep dive into industry trends and predictions, what would you say are the most important takeaways?
Well, I think the first one is that the pace of change, it's not slowing down.
No.
It's accelerating. We're in this era of just constant technological advancement.
So buckle up, basically.
Yeah, buckle up. But what does that mean for people, in their everyday lives, their careers? What does it mean to live in a world where things are changing all the time?
That's a good question.
It means being adaptable, being willing to learn new things.
Yeah.
Those are the skills that are going to matter most. Being able to embrace change, pivot quickly.
So it's not about what you know right now.
Right.
It's about how you learn, how you adapt.
Exactly. You got to evolve with the world around you.
What would you say is the second key takeaway?
I would say it's that technology, it's a powerful tool, but it's a double-edged sword,
Yeah.
It can solve problems, but it also comes with risks, and we have to be aware of those.
We can't just adopt every new gadget or platform without thinking about the consequences.
Exactly. We need to use technology responsibly, ethically.
Thinking about data privacy, algorithmic bias, all that.
Yeah. And the impact on jobs, we can't just ignore those things.
So it's progress with a purpose.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Not just progress for the sake of progress.
And that leads me to, I think, the third key takeaway. Even in a world that's becoming more and more tech-driven, the human element, it still matters, maybe even more than ever.
I agree completely. It's those human skills,
Yeah.
Creativity, empathy, the ability to connect with others. Those are the things that are going to set people apart.
Those are things that machines can't replicate.
Exactly. And those skills are going to be essential for navigating all this complexity, all this change.
So if I can sum it all up, it's about being adaptable, mindful of the impact of technology,
Yeah.
and ultimately human. I think those are some pretty good guiding principles for whatever the future throws at us.
I like that. Adaptable, mindful, and human.
What do you think?
I think those are excellent principles. And as we wrap up this deep dive, I just want to reiterate that, the future isn't something that's just happening to us. We're creating it through the choices we make.
That's a powerful reminder. It's not about waiting to see what happens. It's about making choices that shapes the future we want.
Exactly. So choose your path, make informed decisions,
Yeah.
and help build a future that aligns with your values.
Well said. And on that note, we'll leave you with one final thought to ponder.
Okay.
If you could fast forward, say, 10 years into the future,
Mm-hmm.
what would you want to see? What kind of world would you want to have helped create?
That's a great question.
Keep that question in mind as you navigate these trends, as you make decisions that impact your life, your career.
It's something to think about.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.